Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you might be. My name is Sean, and I'm delighted you're joining us for today's ESPC community webinar. Today, I'm joined by Fabio Bonolo, MVP, who will cover AI-powered SharePoint, Copilot, Agents, Premium, and Co. We love hearing what you guys have to say, so remember to join in on the conversation about today's webinar. Our handle is at ESPC_community, and our hashtag is hashtag ESPC25. Tweet us, tag us, and tell us what you learned. Don't forget to check out our Learning Hub, which is updated with the latest blogs, ebooks, webinars, and how-to videos. You can access and view the Learning Hub by visiting our website, sharepointeurope.com, and clicking the Content tab at the top. Don't let the learning stop here. Continue to keep up and stay ahead by joining us for our next webinar, Measuring Microsoft 365 Copilot Success with Viva Insights, with Dale Hansen, MVP. This webinar will take place Thursday, 10th of April at 11 a.m. CEST. For more information on this webinar, please check out www.sharepointeurope.com/register for webinars. Take your Power Platform expertise to new heights at EPPC 25. Join a full-day workshop and master everything from Power Automate to AI agents and Microsoft Copilot. You'll learn from top industry professionals and connect with peers who share your passion for innovation. Use code Copilot Week to save €150. But hurry, the offer is only valid until April 30th. Scan the QR code to find out more. At FabCon Europe, you'll learn about Power BI, Synapse, Data Factory, Azure, Microsoft Fabric, and more. Book your super early bird sale today and save up to €700. Book now at www.sharepointeurope.com/European Microsoft Fabric Community Conference tickets. Attend Europe's premier Microsoft 365 and AI conference for incredible insights and real-world inspiration. Book today and take advantage of our super early bird sale. Use code Copilot Week to save €150 on your ticket. This offer is only valid until April 30th. Scan the QR code to find out more and secure your place. After the webinar, we'll have a questions and answers session. Type any questions you might have into the questions box. Questions will be selected and answered at the end of the presentation. This webinar will be recorded and added to the Resource Center, where you'll be notified by email when it's available. And now I'm going to pass you over to today's webinar presenter, Fabio. Hello, Fabio. Thanks for joining us today.
Hi, Sean. Thanks for having me. I'm so honored to be able to speak today at ESPC Copilot Week. I hope you guys had a wonderful day so far. And yeah, I hope that also everything works with the GoTo webinar. It's the first time, so please bear with me if the things doesn't work as planned, but it should go smoothly.
Yeah.
So, yeah, sorry.
Yeah, it's perfect. Yeah, I see your slides.
Yeah, perfect. I see them too. So yeah, again, thanks and welcome to this webinar to the topic AI Power for SharePoint, Copilot, Agents, SharePoint Premium, and Co. And I want to take a quick look at the agenda for today. So first of all, I'd like to introduce myself so that you know who's speaking to you. Then I want to cover some fundamentals regarding agents and SharePoint. And then I'll go into the topics itself with some demos that I've prepared for you, the M365 Copilot in SharePoint, the SharePoint agents themselves, and SharePoint Premium, which now is called SharePoint Advanced Management. And in the end, I have planned for 10-15 minutes time for your questions. So please feel free to use the chat and the question bar here in the tool so that in the end we can discuss your topics and questions. So who am I? My name is Fabio Bonolo. As you maybe hear it out, I am from Switzerland. I try not to speak with too much of an accent, but I can't guarantee for anything. Here on the top right, you have a QR code, which leads you to my LinkedIn profile. I'm very active there. I'm happy to connect with you. Also, if you have some further questions after the webinar, please feel free to reach out. I am a Microsoft MVP in the category of Microsoft 365 Copilot, and I'm a team leader for the topics of Copilot and 365 Power Platform at the Swiss Microsoft partner here at Red IT Services. As an MVP, I am a blogger. I have my own blog at fabiobonolo.com. It is in German though, So those of you who don't speak German, I have to disappoint you guys. That's nothing for you, maybe. I am at the moment studying as well for a master's degree in business and IT consulting. But we are not here to talk about myself. We are here to talk about Copilot in SharePoint. And as I said, I would like to cover some basics first, some fundamentals that we have all the same basis and knowledge basis before going forward. So what there is to know is regarding the Microsoft 365 Copilot, which is the license of $30 per user and month. This topic or this Copilot has just few standard features in SharePoint. So it is much stronger in Microsoft 365 applications as PowerPoint, Teams, Word, etc., but not so much in SharePoint. Why is that? Because Microsoft is fully committed to an agentic world. So they are fully committed to Copilot agents as well as SharePoint agents, which we will cover today, see what the differences are, because these or this agentic world that Microsoft is talking about, there are a lot of possibilities, and these possibilities and opportunities are really diverse and really complex to understand, even for experts as myself. And what's clear is that AI is becoming more and more accessible. So right now, you don't need to have a Copilot license in order to build SharePoint agents or in order to use SharePoint agents. So this is something really, really important to understand, that it needs some kind of control, it needs some kind of governance and agent management in behind, so that users don't get overwhelmed with all these possibilities that are out there. And we will see them in the demo that I will show, that it is really, really easy to get to those Copilot capabilities within SharePoint. And what's also some technical basics to see is that SharePoint sites or contents of SharePoint sites, these are used for as data sources, not only for the Microsoft 365 Copilot, but as well for Copilot agents that you can build within Copilot Studio and within SharePoint. And here lies the beauty of this whole topic, because you can combine different SharePoint sources, different SharePoint sites into one agent. Now let's look at the licensing. So I already covered some topics or some keywords, which is for one, the Microsoft 365 Copilot. So this is the license that maybe most of you guys know, the $30 per user month. Here you have some standard Copilot features within SharePoint. These are like free at the moment. With this license, you can create and manage an unlimited amount of SharePoint agents. You have one limitation when you build SharePoint or Copilot agents, is that you cannot integrate external data platforms within these SharePoint agents. At the moment, you can only use SharePoint sites and web sources for data sources in SharePoint agents. Then we have the SharePoint agents themselves for users that don't have a Microsoft 365 Copilot license. So here we are talking about normal users with an Entra ID account, starting with Microsoft 365 Business Standard licenses. They can as well use SharePoint agents, create SharePoint agents in a pay-as-you-go metering basis. So you have to build, or you have to set up an Azure subscription and an Azure resource group in order to enable these users to create and use SharePoint agents. And also here as well, we have the SharePoint sites and content as data sources, as well as the web grounding. And here you will be billed, or your organization will be billed monthly according to the usage of these users, of these non-Copilot users with the SharePoint agents. And the third part I want to cover that we will also look into today is the topic of SharePoint Advanced Management. This is integrated usually in the Copilot license. So when you have a Copilot license, you have SharePoint Advanced Management included, but when you can also buy it as an add-on to a Microsoft 365 or SharePoint standalone license. This costs $3 per user a month and offers some advanced governance and security features around SharePoint and OneDrive. And the main reason why it is a topic for AI in SharePoint is because you can set up some policies that has a direct influence of the search behavior in the Microsoft Graph, as well as on the search behavior of the Microsoft 365 Copilot business chat or the Copilot chat. And that's why we are covering this topic today. So much for the fundamentals. Let's dive into the topics itself. The first one that I want to cover is the M365 Copilot in SharePoint. I always structure my sessions like this, that I will give you some conceptual insights before going into a live demo. And this is the same way that I will do it today with these 3 topics that we have. And so let's start in. So what capabilities does the Microsoft 365 Copilot have in SharePoint? We have 3 of them. The first one is really new. It's also in preview. Funny story, I was doing a webinar or a session like it was like 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, where I didn't have covered this part. And when I did the demo, I saw that it was already available and ready to go. And so I built it in. You can create a SharePoint page or a news post with Copilot. This was something that was announced at Microsoft Ignite in 2023, that this would be possible. And it took Microsoft, a little less than 2 years to get it done. So I'm really happy about it. It looks really good also. It is a preview feature, so it has some limitations with it. And as we will see in the demo, you can start with a prompt on what the page or the news post should look like, as well as the possibility of creating a page with a Copilot template. Then the second feature that Copilot offers in SharePoint is that you can rewrite text in the text web part of a SharePoint site. So here also a limitation that, in my opinion, doesn't make sense so much. You have to write your text initially yourself. So there is no capability that you ask Copilot, write me a text like XYZ, I don't know. You have to write your text yourself first. And Copilot then helps you with the formulation of the text. So you can rewrite it, you can adjust it in different ways. And this is only available in the text web part. And the third feature that Copilot in SharePoint offers is the design ideas. This is not something particularly what has something to do with Copilot, but it is some kind of AI capability in SharePoint. So here you can imagine when you are building a SharePoint site, designing a SharePoint site, you can generate a section, an empty section of a SharePoint site. And when you generate an empty section, the design ideas, or you get some design ideas for this empty section. So it doesn't matter if you do it one whole section or 1/3 or 3 tiles or something like that. So you always get some design ideas, AI generated design ideas from it. But the limitation is that when you have already designed a section with some web parts in it, you will not get some AI generated design ideas. And you do not have also some initial design suggestions. So it only works when you generate or when you add a new empty section. And that's what we are going to look at. right now as a demo. I just checked that you see what I see. I hope so. Yes, you should see my SharePoint site, right?
Yeah, see it.
Perfect. Okay. First I want to cover is the news post or the creation of a page with the Microsoft 365 Copilot. And here we can start with new, and we have here the feature page with Copilot. And you already see that Microsoft has labeled it as a preview feature. So I click here on this preview feature. It opens me a mask, and here I can start with a prompt. So here I can say, do I want to generate a news post or a SharePoint page? On top, you can put in your prompt as you want to, or what kind of news post you want, or what page you like to generate. And below, you see that Microsoft offers some templates, for example, for a newsletter, for an event, for status update, for some kind of topic as a news post. And in the page, we have a leadership team message. So here you see it is a preview feature. We don't have so much templates. And what I also can tell you is that it takes a lot of time until Copilot has created this page. So you can calculate with, I say at least 1 minute, maybe even 2 to 3 minutes until Copilot has created this post or this page. That's the reason that I'm not doing it right now, because this would be empty time of this webinar, which is is not the kind of value that I want to bring to you guys. So that's how it looks, how you can create a Copilot or a SharePoint page with Copilot. Then we'll dive into the creation of the SharePoint side. And here I want to show you two things. The first one is the text web part. So I put here, I use a text web part. And here you see I don't have the possibility to prompt the text that I want. So I have the Copilot symbol here, but the function is just a rewriting function and that just function. So let's say I write something in like, this is a starting landing page for communications within our organization. Our goal is to gain awareness for our planned implementation of Microsoft 365 Copilot. Just some plain text. And now you see that the functions here, they have some kind of activated themselves. So I can ask Copilot to auto rewrite it, which I personally don't recommend, because in my opinion, we all have some kind of idea how our texts should look like. So we can use the adjust feature. And here we can say to Copilot, make the text more concise or longer. And we can adjust the tonality as well. So we can say, make it sound casual, make it sound professional, enthusiastic, engaging, creative. So for one, I want to make it longer, of course, because two sentence text in a SharePoint site, I don't know how much sense this makes. And now Copilot generates us three alternatives. We have here one, the second, and the third one, which we can choose from. And we can say, replace the text, insert it below, or regenerate the automatic rewriting. What we can use here is the adjust functions. So here we can directly say, make it longer again, or now make it sound enthusiastic, for example. And Copilot regenerates. And now you see, okay, that's the fourth one. I want to make it longer. That's why I don't like to use the auto generation. But now it is a little bit longer. It is more enthusiastic. I replace it, and I've got the text rewritten from Copilot. Okay. Now the third one that I want to show you is the design ideas, and these are hidden a little bit here on the right side. You see those star symbols, the design ideas. When I click on top of it, you should see that nothing will come. So yeah, there aren't generated ideas because we don't have an empty section. As I said, we have to add here a new section. You can say, for example, I want to have it flexible. It doesn't. Okay, this doesn't work with the new one maybe. So let's make it static. I want to do it 1/3 left. And now you see here is doing something, and it generates me some kind of design ideas. There aren't 1/3 to the left as my section was, but I do kind of get some ideas I can use. I can click here more, see more ideas, and I've got some AI generated ideas. Yeah, half okay, but not that's what I expected when I said I want a 1/3 section. But this is the AI that lies within the Microsoft 365 Copilot license that we can use, generating a news post or a page with Copilot, rewriting a text in a text web part, and generating design ideas within a empty new section. Good. Discard. Okay, good. If you have questions, feel free to write it in the chat, as we will have time to cover those questions in the end. So I'm just looking for my presentation. I think I have to do it again. Let's give it a try. Yeah, now you see my presentation. Perfect. That's how I like it. Okay, just yeah, trying to not get too much overwhelmed from this tool. Now, second part of this session that we wanted to cover are the SharePoint agents. And here it will become a little bit more complex. So there are two types of SharePoint agents or Copilot agents in SharePoint. The so-called out-of-the-box agent and your own individual self-created SharePoint agents that your user or yourself have created. The default agent is the out-of-the-box agent, which comes with every single SharePoint site. So every SharePoint site collection does have its own SharePoint agent already deployed and ready to use. And the beautiful thing is that your custom agents or your self-built agents, you can configure them with data or content from one or more SharePoint sites. And this is something really interesting because it opens up some interesting possibilities or interesting use cases that you can leverage. What's a limitation that, yeah, a lot of us and also myself don't like so much is that agents can't use data from SharePoint lists. So when we are talking about content in SharePoint sites, we are talking about the site assets, we are talking about document libraries, but we are not talking about SharePoint lists because the agents cannot use them as a data source. They don't understand them. And what you can do is when you created your own agent or your own SharePoint agent, you can publish him or publish it and use it in Microsoft Teams in a team meeting or in a team group chat. Now, let's dive into a little bit deeper into those kind of agents. The first one is the out-of-the-box agents. So maybe you saw this, that in every SharePoint site, you have a Copilot icon in the top right corner. And this Copilot icon means that this is the out-of-the-box agent. And this out-of-the-box agent, as it is out of the box, includes all content, including document library, site assets from the SharePoint site collection that you are within. The limitation is that you cannot configure or customize this default agent or this out-of-the-box agent, and you can also not share it across teams. If you want to customize said out-of-the-box agent, you have to create your own SharePoint agent from scratch. Now let's have a look into the SharePoint agent, because here we have two icons. We have Copilot Studio and we have SharePoint, because that has something to do with it. So you can, with just one click, generate a SharePoint agent. That's why I said in the beginning, it is so accessible. AI has become so much accessible that it's just easy with one click to create your own SharePoint agent. You can configure him with giving him or giving the agent different kind of elements, like his identity, his resources, which SharePoint sites he should use, and his behavior. So for example, you can say to the agent, you should wrap all responses, or you should craft your responses as a poem, or things like that. So you can configure that as you want. You can publish the agent in Teams chat or Teams meetings. That's what I said before. The interesting part is we have some kind of a mini governance that lies behind those self-created SharePoint agents, because it inherits your access permissions as well as the access permissions that you of the persons that you share the SharePoint agent with. You can only use one SharePoint agent per Teams release. So if you have a SharePoint agent already released in a Teams chat, you cannot release a second SharePoint agent in said Teams chat. And you can edit and delete the chat history of the SharePoint agent. Now it becomes interesting. Location and storage. We have, I don't know, 6 possibilities or 6 different ways to create a SharePoint agent with just one click. And dependent on where of these or which one of these 6 possibilities we use to create a SharePoint agent, it is stored either in the document library of the SharePoint site or within the site assets. So Microsoft, that makes so much sense. Not. And the other part is that that's why Copilot Studio is here. You have the opportunity, or the opportunity should be available soon, that you can further edit and customize your own created SharePoint agent in Copilot Studio. Now, what I also want to cover are some use cases. I want to speak about 3 in particular. The first one is the knowledge management agent. So, for example, you can create an agent that is connected to several SharePoint sites where some processes, checklists, onboarding programs, or whatever lies. And this agent can be used as a knowledge management agent, especially now because Viva Topics will be cancelled by the end of the year, I think, if I'm not mistaken. And like that, you can create your own Viva Topics or your own knowledge management agent that has several data sources, internal data sources from several SharePoint site collections that you have. The second one is the onboarding agent that I want to talk about really quickly. You have in the EHR, you have a lot of training materials, you have guidelines, you have other relevant information, for example, how to check in or check out and things like that. And you have them stored in different locations. So you could build an onboarding agent for every new employee and say, here, new employee on the first day, here is your onboarding agent. You can ask him some questions about your start here. and he should be able to answer like 80–90% of your questions. So the good thing is it is a great experience for the onboarding process, and the other value that lies within is that the manager of this new employee is not yeah doesn't need a lot of time for looking out for this new employee, because that's what the agent does. So you can imagine the employee comes all 10 minutes, all 30 minutes to ask his manager, hey, where do I find this? What do I have to do here? And so on. And these are questions that the onboarding agent could answer. And the third one is the help desk agent. All of us are having or do some kind of business value for their customers. So we have services, products that we are selling or that we are delivering. And in different SharePoint sites, we have some information about our product. So technical specifications and I don't know, marketing slides and things like that, stored in different locations. And a help desk agent could help your support for certain products. So you have a product and you have technical specifications in one SharePoint site, marketing slides in another, sales presentation in the third SharePoint site. You combine the SharePoint sites together, you create yourself a help desk agent. So when a customer calls about a problem with said product or with said service, the help desk agent is there ready to use and has a lot of knowledge and know-how for the help desk or support employee. Now let's look at the agents in itself. So the first thing I want to show you is the out-of-the-box agent. I'm again here in my SharePoint site, and I've here, you see it on the top right, the Copilot symbol. I click on it, and it opens me the Copilot chat. You see here directly, this is the out-of-the-box agent ready to use with the content of this SharePoint site collection as a data source. You see, I did also create several other agents, and here you see that this is the first possibility to create an agent. When I create an agent through this part, it will store in the SharePoint document library of this SharePoint site collection. I can show you here, I have one agent already here, and this is the Future of Modern Work ready, which is another SharePoint site that I have here that is ready. And now I have a second opportunity to create an agent, which is here on the landing page. I can create an agent. Now, when I create an agent from the landing page of the SharePoint site, this is the part where it will be stored in the site assets of this SharePoint site and not in the document library. I don't know why, don't ask me, but that's just the case. Then I'll go into the documents, and you see already here I have an agent that I created. It's in the document library. Let's go here inside here, and let's say, okay, I select this this folder, and I can create an agent here as well. Third opportunity, and when I create it here, it saves the agent in the SharePoint document library. But wait, there's more. I can go here to the 3 points, and I can create an agent also here. So you see, it is so accessible, so easy for each end user to just create an agent as they like. And also here, when I create him as well here, it stores in the SharePoint document library. I can as well just I go here to my speaker slides, my speaker sessions. I can say, put me this, take me this one, this one, this one, and I can create an agent with these files. Now let's try it out. Create an agent. This is what it looks like. So the agent automatically takes the selected files and uses it as a SharePoint, as a data source. And you see already with one click, your agent is ready. I can open the agent and use it. Let's give it a try. Zack, here it is. This is my speaker agent that I just created. But I do have the possibility to edit the agent after I published it. So let's edit it. And here you see we have the three opportunities or the three elements that we can configure. We can configure its identity, so the name of the agent, the symbol, and the description. The sources, so these are the data sources that I was talking about. So here we have some different files. I can here add a document library, site assets, documents, channels within Future of Modern Work. Or I can also just add another SharePoint site as I want. Okay. So here I have the opportunity to customize the agent with the data sources needed. And here, with just no programming language or nothing, I can configure the agent, its behavior. So here I can say, describe, for example, how the agent should engage with user. Now I can say, please craft your responses as a rep. I can say what are the starter prompts that the user sees. I save it. And now let's see if the agent does give me a response as a rep. Put in the prompt. And now I've got a response as a rep. Yo, Fabio, let me break it down for you. Using these resources, hit what you gotta do. First up, it's all about data governance. Without it, Copilot's performance ain't gonna enhance. Quality of data, that's the key for Copilot to work efficiently. So you see the behavior just with a few clicks, just with imagination, the agent does exactly what you want him to do. Really, really interesting. And here we do have the possibility to copy the link for Teams, so I can share or publish this agent in Teams in a group chat or a team meeting. I can share it with different persons. So for example, I have here my demo user that I can say here, yeah, I want that he can view it, interact with it, because here we have the topic of the pay as you go, right? So the demo user doesn't have Copilot, for example. So if he interacts with SharePoint agent, it costs monthly. Yeah, and that's how SharePoint agents work. I'm looking at the time, we're already 37, so I'm jumping to the next topic, which is the SharePoint Advanced Management, or as Microsoft called it at Microsoft Ignite, SharePoint Premium. So, quick overview. The SharePoint Advanced Management is an add-on that Microsoft positions in a way that is specifically designed for the introduction of Microsoft 365 Copilot. But governance is not only because of Copilot. We can use and leverage governance also without the implementation of Copilot, just within our collaboration stream that we have within our organization. As I said, SharePoint Advanced Management was announced at the 2023 MS Ignite at SharePoint Premium with a lot more Copilot features that, yeah, I am certainly missing. But what's it today? It's that it offers some additional capabilities and services for data governance within SharePoint. And I often try to explain it like this. So within our Microsoft 365 tenant or SharePoint Admin Center, we have the possibility to set the sharing of documents, to set some policies on documents. We can build some retention labels on it. We can build the ownership or permission settings and things like that. And what SharePoint Advanced Management does, it's that it goes one level higher so that you can configure policies for SharePoint sites, okay, and site collections. That's the main point that SharePoint Advanced Management has. And when I talk about data governance, I always try to differentiate between data quality and data security. And with this differentiation, that's what I go into also today. So when you're looking at the functionalities of SharePoint Advanced Management, in terms of data quality, the end goal is that we prevent content sprawl. So with SharePoint Advanced Management, we can structure our data, we can reduce storage locations, and we can eliminate security risks. One policy that we can use is the site ownership policy. So here it is SharePoint Advanced Management does a periodic review of the ownerships of SharePoint sites. So for example, if an employee who is owner of a SharePoint site or the sole owner of a SharePoint site leaves the company, maybe after a month, SharePoint Advanced Management sees that and notifies you that you have a SharePoint site without an owner. Then we have an inactive sites policy. So you can set some criteria that say, yeah, when in this SharePoint site, nothing has changed for, I don't know, 9 months, it should notify the website owners and ask them if the website is still active or if he could delete it in order to maintain a high and relevant and actual data quality within our Microsoft 365 environment. We have some reportings within that are LLM based, so AI generated reportings regarding the usage of our SharePoint sites. And we have also some sites, some sort of content lifecycle management. So we see the history of changes in the part of the SharePoint site. So not on the files or on the content of the SharePoint sites, but on the SharePoint sites themselves. Then we have data security. And here with SharePoint Advanced Management, we can block downloads from content within a SharePoint site. This is something that is also available with sensitivity labels within Microsoft Purview, but we can also configure it via the SharePoint Advanced Management. And this is the important one regarding also Copilot. With the restricted access control, we can say that certain SharePoint sites are available only to certain groups, security groups or M365 groups. That has direct impact on the content discovery. So we can determine sites, SharePoint sites that are or should not or must not be detected by Microsoft Search and Microsoft 365 Copilot. So that's something really, really important and really new. But here there is some kind of risk, because if you restrict too many SharePoint sites, it has a negative impact on the search quality and the response quality of Copilot. So here you should act really, really sensitive on which SharePoint sites you want to restrict from being found from the Microsoft Search or Microsoft 365 Copilot chat. Then in combination with Enter ID, we have some conditional access policies for SharePoint sites as well. And also here we have some access governance reportings that show how sensitive content is being accessed, and gives us some potential oversharing insights within different SharePoint sites. Now, what I can show you is how SharePoint Advanced Management works within the Admin Center, because it lies within the SharePoint Admin Center. And the interesting part is we have it here as as an element, but the different policies don't show up or cannot be configured when you don't have the subscription enabled. So here in my tenant, I do have the subscription. And you see, for example, one thing is here the site lifecycle management. So this is something when you don't have a Copilot license or when you don't have SharePoint Advanced Management, you should not be able to see this policy within your SharePoint Admin Center. And what the advanced management here really does is it guides you to the location where you can configure set policies. So if you want to do a site level access restriction, so for example, yeah, the Copilot should not be able to see certain sites, it guides us to the part where we can configure it. And here I can configure it, for example, because here in the policies access control, I see this is a feature that is pro, that is only available when I have SharePoint Advanced Management. And this is the same thing here when we are going through other policies. For example, here in the reports, change history, I can create it. You see here the pro symbol on top of this feature. Good. That's from my part what I wanted to show you, what I wanted to cover today. And yeah, for now, we can
get into questions, will we? Or
yes, we can answer
perfect.
we could go into the questions.
Yeah, there's a lot of questions in.
I don't see the chat. You see it, I think, huh, right?
Yeah, I'll only be able to see it. So I'll read them out to you. So the first one is, do you need a license to use agent as an end user? For example, if an agent is published on internet, will an employee without any Copilot or pay-as-you-go license can use the agent?
I don't think you will be able to. No, I don't think if you would be able to create the agent without the pay-as-you-go license. But no, said user cannot use the SharePoint agent. So he can maybe write a prompt, but nothing comes back. It doesn't work.
Perfect. So the next question is, we have 70 Copilot licenses, but still not activated SharePoint Advanced Management. Do you know how to get the access?
Ooh, that's a good question. That's something that's more or less new because when you look at the licensing table of Copilot, it says that SharePoint Advanced Management is included in the Microsoft 365 Copilot licenses. I myself have a Microsoft 365 Copilot license plus SharePoint Advanced Management license. I have to check in the Learn documentation where you can get it. But I don't have an answer to that yet because I have both subscriptions as well.
Perfect. So the next question is, hello, is the agent created in the site level accessible by all users who have access to this website?
Yes.
Perfect. So the next question is, are agents visible to other colleagues that have access to the SharePoint site or only to myself?
It's the same question basically, right?
Yeah, basically, yeah.
Yeah, basically it's the same question. So no, when you have access to a certain SharePoint site, every person that has access to the SharePoint site sees the out-of-the-box agent. So it comes naturally within and inherits the permissions of the site.
Perfect. So the next question is, are agents available in an easy way for mobile users? We have a lot of non-desktop users in our company and they need a solution that finds information very fast and easy for the user.
Yeah. Here we have another topic because, as you know, the SharePoint mobile app isn't very good. So here, maybe the better way to go is to create a Copilot agent within the Microsoft 365 Copilot chat that lies within Teams and that has also its own application. So here I would ask, is SharePoint agent the right path to go if you have a lot of mobile users, or is it a Copilot agent that you create within Copilot chat? Of course, also in Copilot chat, in the Copilot agent, you can configure different SharePoint sites. You can configure identity, behavior, the same things that I showed you within SharePoint. You can configure basically as a Copilot agent and not a SharePoint agent. I don't know, does this make sense?
Yeah. So the next question is, what is needed to activate SharePoint Advanced Management? Do we have licenses in place, but we do not see SAM being available, and where can the subscription be enabled?
Yeah, so I can show you how it looks like with me.
Thanks.
So I purchased the license just here in my licenses. And you see here I have SharePoint Advanced Management Plan 1. Maybe you should check if you have assigned them. So that's also one part that, yeah, it's not so easy. Or not so easy. I forget a lot of time about it. So I buy the license. I think it's ready. No, I have to assign it first. So make sure that it is assigned, and then it takes some hours, and the SharePoint Advanced Management then gets enabled automatically. So I didn't have to configure something or anything like that. So I just purchased the license, assigned it, and then I had those features here. For example, the site lifecycle management, I had it available. So yeah, that's what I did.
Perfect. So the next question is, do we know when SharePoint lists and metadata in doc libraries will be available for Copilot to use as source?
Metadata is on the roadmap, and this should be already in rollout if I'm not mistaken. SharePoint lists, no, we don't. We just don't know. It's something I think a lot of you guys, also a lot of us, gave feedback to Microsoft that SharePoint list should be included, also in the Copilot chat, because it is a huge use case with SharePoint lists. But we have no information, and Microsoft has not announced or planned anything in this direction. So I don't know when, but here it is. So we shouldn't forget that we are talking about the technology that is 1.5 years old. So it is normal, for me at least, it is normal that it comes with some limitations. So be patient, because when we see what development Copilot did from March last year to now, end of March or starting of April of this year, it was incredible. And let's just see what happens in 2 or 3 years. Just have some patience, but I think Microsoft is aware of this limitation, and I think it's just a matter of time. But there is no information of what kind of timeline we are talking about.
Perfect. So the next question is, can colleagues see my questions to the agent?
No, it's your own agent.
Perfect. So the next one, I think this is just a follow-up on the questions. We do not have SAM licenses, but Copilot only. But as I understood, Fabio will check how that works, as it should be included.
Yeah, I will check that. The person who asked the questions, I don't see the question, I see the persons. I'm sorry. Please reach out to me to LinkedIn, write me a message on LinkedIn, and I will come back with an answer to you on how you can set it up. Okay?
Perfect.
That's what I can offer you.
Perfect. Thanks, Fabio. Appreciate that.
Yeah, I'll just here you can scan. Here you can scan on the bottom right. I think this should work. You'll get directly to my LinkedIn profile. Let's have a look. No, it doesn't work. So I'll show you the one in the beginning. Oh God. Make it like this. Make it like this. This one should work, I think.
I'll try it now.
Let's try. Yeah, this works. So here you can reach out to my LinkedIn, and
yeah, it's working for me.
Yeah, perfect.
Perfect. So just next question there is there any public information for when SharePoint Advanced Management will be available with Microsoft 365 Copilot licensing for free? So far, we have needed to get a trial licensing of SharePoint Advanced Management to get the features available.
It should. Look, look, guys. I will show you something. Here, maybe you should see it. This is the licensing guide of Microsoft when they announced the Copilot chat, right? For users. And here you see the SharePoint Advanced Management. Go with the laser pointer here. The SharePoint Advanced Management here is included in Microsoft 365 Copilot. And that's what I also did understand. What I haven't checked is if you have to do some kind of configuration or setup technically to enable SharePoint Advanced Management in your admin center. That's something I didn't check yet because I didn't have to. I have both licenses. But this is the information that we have from the original Microsoft Copilot licensing table. That's what we have. So that's why, again, let me check with that. I have to come back to you. Please reach out on LinkedIn and I can hopefully cover you.
Perfect. So we'll just have one more question, if that's right, as on time. The next question is, restrict content search. Can we add OneDrive URL of our CEO, for example, so the Copilot doesn't look into the OneDrive of our CEO and it doesn't appear in any searches?
Good one. Global SharePoint has restricted set across security. Oh no, this is security groups. I think so. Yes, I do think so. But let me just check it really quickly. I do think so. OneDrive access restriction. Here you go. And here you can say, use this setting only to allow users in a specific group to access OneDrive content. So you can restrict not the URL, but you can restrict the groups that have access to OneDrive content. So that's what you can do.
Perfect. And just one last question just came in there. What about content on SPO pages? Is that available to agents? Example, for our quality handbook, we have been moving from PDFs to pages for better readability on mobile devices.
That's a great question. So technically, I would say yes, because each page is stored as a file in the SharePoint site assets, in the site assets, right? And the AI is also capable of detecting objects or detecting images. But you should, I have to check it to qualify my answer because that's a really good question. I would say technically yes, but I wouldn't be surprised if it wasn't possible. But I have to check that.
Perfect. So that's all the questions. So On behalf of the ESBC community, we'd like to extend a big thank you to you again, Fabio, for taking time out today to carry this webinar. We really appreciate it.
Thanks to you. Thanks for having me.
No problem at all. So that's the end of today's webinar. You can find this webinar and more at sharepointeurope.com/resource center. Thanks again for all of you for joining us today, and I hope you join us again soon. Take care.
Bye, guys. Thank you.